Hi, my name is Christina, and I'm an animal communicator, and I communicate with nature as well. I'm happy to have you here with me, and I would like you to know that it is one of my passions to foster mutual, more understanding between humans and animals, between humans and nature, to really change the way our animals, our pets are being perceived. I know there's a lot of you out there who are fully subscribed to the skill and thought of animal communication, but there's still a lot of people out there who don't really know especially what animal communication is all about, how it works, whether this is something that actually does give you results, and whether this is something that is, well, requires lots of practice or anyone can do. I'm going to answer some common questions in this video that I get asked, so you can decide for yourself if animal communication is something you would like to try with your pets, if you even like to entertain the thought of it, or if you think, nah, this is not for me. Let's put it this way. I probably best start by saying what animal communication is not. I'm not a psychic. I don't look into a crystal ball and look into the future or predict outcomes, predict events with regards to your pets. I'm not a mind reader either. I don't guess. I don't. Animal communication is not behaviorism. I don't look at a pet's behavior and draw conclusions from that. It is also not any form of training. It is literally what the name implies. It's a mutual conversation between me and the animal. Meaning that information is being exchanged in a telepathic way, meaning that my energy, my frequency is aligned with theirs, much like a radio station. When you're trying to tune it in and it crackles, it's not quite right. It needs to be right for it to be perceived and received clearly. I'm tuning my energy into that of the animal, and the animal responds in kind. And then the conversation can flow and the information can come forward. I receive information in various forms using all my senses. So I could receive information in the way of thoughts, which translate then into words that I hear, in the way of pictures, which translates into images that I see, in the way of smells, in the way of sounds, in the way of tastes, and also in the way of feelings, and also in the way of just having a knowing of something, which I suppose would be our sixth sense. I start by, as you would with a human, introducing myself to the animal, having stilled my mind beforehand, having eliminated any worries, any overthinking, anything that might preoccupy me in my personal or business life. So having stilled my mind, I introduce myself like you would to a human, and then literally start a conversation. I have the questions with me. I know what the owner wants to know, but the conversation started in much of a way that you would start a conversation with a human. You wouldn't dive into interviewing them with questions. You would just ask how they were and what's going on, what is occupying their life at the moment, or what do they like, what do they not like. So you'd start in quite a gentle way, so we can both, in my example, both used to each other. And then I could ask questions and the animal would answer, and I will jot those down. And I would also then sometimes ask additional questions depending on what the answers are, and I would make notes. Symbols can also come up, And at the end of the conversation, which of course I have either in person or online with a video call, meaning that the owner or the animal guardian is present. And that's the huge advantage because the owner can ask any on spec questions straight away, or I can clarify something with the animal guardian and they can answer me. So that's very handy with today's technology. And having covered everything, I close the connection down. Sometimes the animal may have a message, so I always ask, is there anything else that you'd like to say? Then close the connection down and then have a debrief with the owner, and also type up the responses, and the consult form that would have been filled in beforehand by the owner will then be returned together with my answers, so it's the owner can look back. That's very handy sometimes, especially when more than one session is needed. And that, in a nutshell, is what I do during an animal communication. It's a telepathic exchange of information that, and I always like to stress that everyone can do. Everyone has the ability to communicate with their animals. I wasn't born like that. I wasn't one of these people who always talk to animals. They do exist, and of course, that's brilliant. If that's you, you've always had an affinity with animals. You always could interact and communicate with them. That's absolutely brilliant. If you want to develop the skills, yes, absolutely. There are ways and means, but I was led to this by one of our horses and have trained in it and have gained a diploma in it. But now I can tune into an animal at will, so to speak. Sometimes people ask me, oh, doesn't it get very exhausting hearing all these animals? But as I haven't practiced this skill from birth, from a young age, I can tune in and out, which is also, of course, quite important to safeguard myself emotionally, and that it doesn't overwhelm me, and that I can distance myself and step from the communicator to Christina again. So I hope this has helped. Please browse my website for more information and testimonials. And if you want to engage me, or if you have any questions, then either book a discovery call or perhaps reply to this video, or send me an email or contact me via WhatsApp. There's lots of ways. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.